सिया राम जय जय सिया राम
जय सिया राम जय जय सिया राम
जय सिया राम जय जय सिया राम
बोलो राम 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 राजा 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 राम
जय सिया राम जय जय सिया 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 राम
बोलो राम 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 राजा राम
बोलो राम राम राजा राम
बोलो राम 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 राजा राम
बोलो राम 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 राजा राम
बोलो राम 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 राजा राम
जय सिया राम जय जय सिया राम
सियावर रामचंद्र
की जय
श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज
की जय
Recording in progress.
सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
वक्रतुंड
महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा
सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा गुरुर्ब्रह्मा
गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः चिन्मयं व्यापि यत्सर्वं त्रैलोक्यं सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः ॐ श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरुवे नमः
आपदामपहर्तारं दातारं सर्वसम्पदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहम् मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं परमानन्दमाधवम् We'll all sit up nice and tall, gently close the eyes, and today we'll take a little trip. Within your own mind, visualize a large, vast field. On one side, we have the army of Ravana, with all of the warriors ready for battle. Ravana has incredible armor, a huge chariot, amazing weapons, ready to fight. And on the other side, we have the Vanarasena of Sri Ram. We have Vibhishana standing next to him, looking at Ravana. We have all of the monkeys and the bears ready to fight for Sri Ram, ready to fight for Dharma, for what is right. We have the beautiful form of Sri Ram with his hair tied up on his head, wearing deer skin like the forest dwellers. He's armed with a strong bow and a quiver full of arrows, blessed by Agastya Muni, that they will never be exhausted. In this impossible scenario, we are but spectators. Keeping this in mind, we can gently come back, open our eyes. So we've set the scene, and Rama is ready. He's come all this way from across in Bharata to Lanka. I'm sure most of us are familiar with the story, but we'll do a short and quick recap. Sri Rama is the illustrious prince of Ayodhya, the eldest of four brothers. By a twist of fate, or the Devata's wish, or whatever Bhagwan had planned, whatever you may call it, he's banished to the forest for 14 years. In the forest, they live a happy life until one day Ravana, the king of Lanka, comes hearing of Sita's beauty and kidnaps her. Now Rama has no idea where to go, how to get to Lanka, until he finds Sugriva. Sugriva is the king of the Vanaras. In other words, monkey men, but Vanara is probably the best word. With his help, they reach the shores of Tamil Nadu, modern day Tamil Nadu, and they build this massive bridge and cross over into Lanka. Once they've built this bridge and they've set up camp, Ravana's brother Vibhishana, who is known for his righteousness, he's known for his devotion to Sri Ram. He comes and he surrenders to Sri Ram. And he says, "Oh Lord, I'm here because I know that what my brother has done is not right. Sita Devi belongs with you. I am your servant." And so Sri Ram takes him in his shelter and guides him. Vibhishana contributes a lot to helping with the strategic planning of the war. But now the war is actually happening because Ravana has refused to give back Sita. And so they're in the middle of the battlefield. Ravana has sent every single one of his generals into battle. At this point in time, even Kumbhakarna has gone into battle. Kumbhakarna is the third brother. Ravana, Kumbhakarna, and Vibhishana. Kumbhakarna is an amazing warrior. He is destroyed in battle. So now Ravana himself has to come into battle. Ravana is on one side, Rama is on the other side. And Vibhishana sees all the splendor of his army, and he turns to Sri Ram and he says, "Oh Lord, Ravan has this whole army, and you don't even have shoes. You don't have an armor, you don't have anything. What, how are you going to fight? How is this going to work? And so, in the language itself, it's so beautiful. Where Tulsi Dashi writes in the Ramayana that Ravanurathi Biratha Raghubira Dekhi Vibhishana Bhayav Adhira Adhika Preeti Manabha Sandeha Bandi Charanakaha Sahita Saneha Nath Narath Nahi Tana Padatrana Kehi Vidhi Jitava Veera Balavana. Oh Lord, you don't have anything. You don't have shoes. You don't have a kavacha. You don't have an armor. How will you win against Ravana, who he knows? He calls him Veer. He calls him Balavan. That he's so strong. He has all the capacity to fight. How will you win against him? And the way Rama responds is so beautiful. He says, Sunahu sakha kaha kripa nidhana jehi jaya hoi so syandana. That, oh my friend, already we see the beauty in this. That Rama doesn't see Vibhishan as anybody less than him. Vibhishan calls him Nath. He says, oh Lord. But Rama calls him Sakha. He calls him my friend. That, listen, this is the chariot on which I am going to be seated. That chariot of dharma, of righteousness, of success. That is the chariot that I have. Let me tell you a bit about that. And so, in setting this scene, we have a comparison between what we know as the Bhagavad Gita and what we call Vibhishan Gita here. In Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is asking the question to Sri Krishna, what should I do? I'm completely deluded. I don't know what the right thing to do is. And then Krishna gives his answer as what we know as the Bhagavad Gita. But here we see Vibhishan's asking Sri Ram, how will you win this war? Not out of delusion, but out of this love in his heart, out of extreme emotion. And that makes all the difference in the world. That Rama is a lot more straightforward. He's a lot more sweeter in the way he explains to Vibhishan. If we look at the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna kind of has to whip Arjuna up. And so he starts in a really harsh way. But here, Vibhishan already knows that Sri Ram can figure it out. That yes, he's going to be able to do fine. But somehow this anxiety is there in his heart. And we see this with parents, actually, a lot of the time. That when a child has to go and perform somewhere or play a game, like a football game or a basketball game, the parent is a little bit more on top of the child. They're like, have you prepared? Have you slept properly? Did you take this? Do you have what? Do you have electrolytes? Like very important questions. But the parent is just more concerned about the child's success than the child themselves. Yes, you were worried. You have a little bit of tension because you're like, oh my God, I have this exam or I have this game. But that over that over emotional kind of love is what we see in Vibhishan here. And we see it in our own life as well. That what happens is we kind of forget what the fact of it is. We forget that our children have this capability. They're very able to do what they need to do. They have prepared. We should have faith in our, our abilities. But sometimes, what to do? Guruji does this sometimes. Main maa hoon na. And he'll tease all of the moms that come to the ashram. Main maa hoon na, main maa hoon na. And so it's really cute to see. But it's so true that we allow our emotions, our love to sometimes overpower our clear thinking. And where is this happening? Battlefield. So bear in mind, Rama's army has already demolished most of Ravan's army. But still, Vibhishan is asking this question. And this battlefield is very much like our life. It draws a lot of parallels to our own inner conflict. The battlefield outside is just a reflection of the battlefield inside. There's a battle between our desires. Sometimes I want what's good, but there's another desire that I also have that I've been feeding for a long time. And so there's conflict. I know that I shouldn't be having sugar as a diabetic, but for so long I've indulged that desire for sugar that now I know it's practically going to kill me. But what do? I still go for the sugar. So this conflict of desire is what this battlefield is like. There's the battle between what our abilities are and what our goal is. Sometimes they don't match. And so we have to cultivate abilities to reach our goal, or we have to set a higher goal because we can always achieve it. And then what happens is we get complacent. So this battle also is there between our abilities and our goals. What I want to do versus what I should do. I don't think I need to elaborate too much on that. We experience that on a daily basis. I want to sleep in, but I should get up. And depending on how I'm feeling that day, we see which one wins. And another conflict that we often have is, who am I today? And who do I want to be? This ideal self and this current self. This conflict is usually there. We have an idea of who we are, but who are we actually may not always match. This battle is also there. So, in essence, there are many different kinds of conflicts that we experience. And in the midst of it all, what are we looking for? We're looking for success. We're looking for happiness. We're looking for peace. We're looking for love. Yes or no? Ultimately, the question is, what is the success that we want? Is it achieving our goals? It may be, and that's also good. Ultimately, goals that we truly believe in are what will guide our behavior. I may say I believe in having good health, but if I don't truly believe it, my actions won't translate into it. What that means is I actually believe that something else will make me happy. It's just the right answer to say I believe health is going to be good for me. Conflict. Yes or no? So, as we go, there will be questions that will come up. So, these are questions for us to all reflect on. So, if you'd like to note them down, please do. What are my goals? And what do I truly believe is going to get me to them? Answering these two questions, see what comes up and if they align with each other. What are my goals? And what do I truly believe is going to get me to reach them? They should be aligned. I can't say I'm going to Hung Ham and then take a taxi that's going to Lantau Island. It's not going to work. There'll always be that dissonance. Simple example, my goal is gut health. But I can't only add a probiotic to my diet and say, I'm done. Now I'm going to be able to eat anything and everything. It's not going to work. There may be some alignment, but if I'm not taking care of my overall diet, if I'm not taking care of my overall exercise and my health, nothing's going to come out of it. So this alignment needs to happen. And this is where Rama and Vibhishan come in. Because Vibhishan sees that we have the capacity within us, but he doesn't see what Rama has that we all sometimes struggle to get. And that is this car or chariot of Dharma. Dharma is a vast topic on its own, but for the sake of this context, Dharma is that which sustains. Anything that sustains and takes care of us, that is Dharma. Earth is called Dharma because she sustains us. What sustains our success ultimately determines whether we are successful in life. So, what is this chariot of Dharma? What is the foundation of success? These are those values that form the blueprint of how we think. I'll say that again. These are the values that form the blueprint of how we think and how we interact with the world. The way we interact with the world can sometimes be so autopilot, we don't realize. But if we take a minute to think, some of us operate from a perspective of fear, that I'm stressed, I'm nervous, what if it doesn't get done? And that's our default. Some people operate from a perspective of nurturing and care, where it's like, I should be able to take care of all the things around me. Some people operate from a perspective of goal driven work. So as long as what I'm doing is directed towards my goal, I'm going to do it. Different attitudes, all based on the value system we hold. I'm sure you all would have seen that when we look at the way children are raised in different countries, you'll see the value system is very different. In places like India, the value system is such that everybody is chacha chachi, mama mami, everybody is my family only. And some other places, there's clear distinction that you are my uncle, you are my aunt, you are my mother, you are my father, this is my family, bus. And then you see the way that everybody operates from those value systems. Very, very different. Yes or no? So when Rama says, listen, this is my chariot of success. Based on this, I know success is assured. And so the first thing in a chariot is the wheels. Yes? What are the wheels of success? So Sri Rama says, Sauraja dhiraja tehi ratha chaka. Sauraja and dhiraja. Don't be fearful of these words. Sauraja literally means courage, valor, strength and ability to face all difficulties and external challenges of life. Dhiraja is then that internal capacity to be patient, to be determined, we could say. It's the ability to have perseverance, dhiraja. And so if you think about it, it may sound very intuitive that yes, you need courage, you need perseverance in order to move forward. Yes? Or sometimes it feels like, oh, I already know this, it's fine. What's next? But when you think about it a little bit more, at least when I was thinking about it, is that the battle is often not even between good and bad. It's usually between what is bad and less bad, or potentially bad. And so we need to have a strong conviction to keep us true to our ideals. That conviction is courage. That is Sauraj. And so a man once told Guruji that I've never taken a bribe in my life. And Guruji asked him, how did you manage to do that? Because corruption is rampant. And he said, easy, Guruji, I've never been offered a bribe. And so Guruji's like, this is not real courage at all. This is not real valor. You can't say I've overcome many challenges because I've never faced any. It doesn't work that way. And so I may not be corrupt by $100, but $100,000, I may think about it. And then if it's 100 million, the next thing that says is ho jayega sahib, done. Do I really have courage? Do I really have conviction that my values are so strong and they're important and I should follow through with them? That's the question we have to ask ourselves. And so traditionally there are 5 types of valor or courage, and they're called virata. So you have ranavira, which is the one who can fight on the battlefield. Then you have danavira, someone who is able to give in charity, someone who's extremely giving. This courage on the battlefield faces a particular fear of death, fear of conflict. Courage to give in charity, danavira, is fighting this fear of needing money later. If I can give, I overcome fear. The third one is Dayavir, being compassionate, the courage to have compassion. To love means we should be vulnerable. To be compassionate means we have to open our heart and we have to be able to give that time, that space, that energy to the person. So this courage to be compassionate makes us a Veer, Dayavir. Then we have Vidyavir, courage of knowledge. Sometimes we fear the truth. We like to wear blinders or we like to tie a blindfold over our eyes to avoid the truth. But having the courage to gain knowledge and to learn the truth makes us a different kind of Veera. Then the fifth one is Tyaga Veera or Dharma Veera. So when we're able to give up things, our habits, things we like, things we want to hold on to, being able to let go of those things, that means we have courage within us. Somebody who has all five of these is considered a Mahavira. So who's the Mahavira that we know? Hanuman. So Mahavira Vikrama Bajarangi, Kumati Nivara, Sumati Kesangi. Interesting that in the Chalisa as well, this Mahavir comes with Kumati Nivara, remover of all negative thinking, Sumati Kesangi, and you support those who have right thinking. So this Sauraja, very important wheel in order to move forward on the path to success. So then here are the questions that we should ask ourselves. Do I have what it takes to stand up to my mind and what it likes, what it doesn't like? Do I have that courage? Do I have the courage to do what's actually going to lead me to success? Sometimes we know what we should do, but we're a bit scared to do it. We feel there's a fear of failure, but we have to muster up that courage. We have to muster up that perseverance that no, something is good for me. This particular exercise, this particular diet, this particular sadhana is going to help me. And I'm going to do it no matter what. End of story. This simple affirmation to ourselves increases our perseverance, increases our courage to do anything. So we should ask, what is my self doubt? What are my internal fears? Vibhishan faced this because he was in Lanka the whole time. It can be very easy to fall prey to our conditions, to our surroundings. Over the past month here, I think I've spoken to quite a few people, and many views are that Hong Kong can feel like it's just all over you all the time. And you feel like you're being pushed down by the energy of the place. Yes, it can be like that. But that means we should be like Vibhishan. We should listen to what Hanumanji has to say to us, which is surrender. Yes, that's a whole separate topic altogether. You all may be thinking, oh, surrender so hard. Da, da. It's okay. Focus on Sauraja and Dhiraja. But a simple way to practice this is be the first to do something. Be the first to reach out. Be the first to ask for help or offer help. Be the first to introduce or reintroduce yourself at a party or at an event. Be the first to dance on a dance floor. The small things, but this is such a powerful way to tell ourselves, I have it within me to overcome any obstacle. And being consistent with it is key. So often we can develop courage. We often muster up the courage to do something, but we're impatient. We're like, no, I need it now. A man used to pray, oh God, please give me patience, but please give it to me now. Again, how will it work? This is something we again have to come back to time and time again. I may have the courage, but do I have the courage to wait? Do I have it in me to develop fortitude and perseverance? So, an exercise for us to do is view waiting in line or waiting for something as a chance to practice patience. I may be waiting for a phone call, I may be waiting for the MTR, I may be waiting for the bus. And rather than going onto my phone, rather than pulling something out to do, Just be. Just be there. Feel the impatience. Feel yourself developing that ability to stay and wait. There's a book called Siddhartha. Some of you may have read it. It's by I believe, a German author. And in the initial stages, the protagonist of the book, he has maybe two or three abilities that he says, I can do. Someone asks him, what can you do? He says, I can sit, I can fast, I can wait. And he could do this endlessly. You tell him sit, wait, and fast, he could sit for days. How many of us can sit for even 10 minutes without fidgeting or moving or doing something? It's really hard. But practice of it gives us the fortitude. So far we've seen wheels, the wheels of this chariot of success. Courage, perseverance, and patience. Another thing that we can do is ask ourselves, how many times do I say I can't do it? Oh, it's really difficult. I'll see if I can make it. Often we say this to ourselves. I'll see, I'll try. But when we give ourselves that opportunity to slip out of something, we're not developing patience. We're not developing confidence. So notice, when we don't have confidence in ourselves, we start to fall back on these kinds of thought processes, these kinds of words. I can't, I'll try, maybe. Develop the confidence to be clear and say what you mean and say it nicely. This again becomes another quality. How can I be truthful and how can I do it beautifully? How can I do it with grace? And so Sri Ram again brings up these qualities and he says, Satya Sila Dridha Dvaja Pataka. So I've seen the wheels. And you all have seen a chariot before. How many of you seen Mahabharata or Ramayana or something? Not many. Okay. In a chariot, there are wheels. There is the actual cabin that the warrior will sit in. There's a seat for the charioteer. There's a roof on top. And there are two flags that fly. One is called Dvaja, one is called Pataka. This Dvaja Pataka are like protection and also symbolize that the warrior is safe and sound. They also tell you who is inside, who is in this chariot. So Arjuna, we know, who did he have on his flagstaff? Those of you who've learned Mahabharata. Very good. He had Hanumanji on his flag. Sri Ram has the sun on his flag because he comes from the Sun dynasty. And a tree called a Kovidara tree. This Kovidara tree is known for its ability to stay strong and to provide shelter and shade to people, which is exactly what he did. And so Dvaja Pataka, these two flags that fly on the chariot of Dharma, that give us success. They are truthfulness and good conduct, you may say, or good character. And so honesty can be on three levels: what we speak, what we think, and what we believe. So, speaking what we know to be true is being honest to ourselves. And that's already a very high level of truthfulness that we can follow. Being honest to our potential, that's a little bit more difficult sometimes. We know we can do a little bit better, but we often feel like we can't, or we feel a bit lazy. And so then we don't live up to our potential. So being true to our potential, to our ideals, to our convictions, to our word. How many times are we true to our word? Another exercise for us to do is see, am I being true to my word in the day? And if we want to practice something, then the practice can be say what I mean and say it nicely. Hard, no? But it's good practice. Some people may call it diplomatic thinking. I don't know If you all want to call it that, be my guest. But this is what Sri Rama tells us will lead us to success. And so my role here is to simply share what I have understood. But today I may be saying one thing, and tomorrow you may discover something else that falls in this line of thinking as well. I'm almost confident that within the next 2 days, these words will start to feel more real to you. Because it sounds like it's a very theoretical thing. But if you really think about it, the most successful people in life that we see, they have at least one of these qualities in a very strong measure. People like Donald Trump, yes, controversial example, but my God, that man has courage. He has guts to say the things he does, he has guts to do the things he does. Why? I don't know why, but he does it. And he's in a position of power, he's in a position of success as per his definition. His ability to be so upfront has given him what we would call success. That's just one thing. Imagine Sri Rama is giving us so many things that we can develop for our own success. But a nicer example is King Dashrath, Rama's father. In their whole tradition, in their whole family, they had a sankalpa. Sankalpa as in they had a decision, a conviction that I will speak the truth and only the truth. So what I say, I will keep to my word. That's how Rama ended up in the forest in the first place, because he wanted to fulfill his father's word. It may be really hard for us to see that happening because in our day to day life, we don't even realize how many times we falter from the truth in small, small ways. Personal example. As a child, it was, have you done this yet? Have you brushed your teeth? Have you finished your homework? I haven't finished it yet, but just to get it out of the way, yes, I've done it, and then I'll go and do it eventually. It's not that I wouldn't, but that also is a slight faltering, no? So, how can we be truthful? How can we do it in a way that is Sheela, that is in good character, in good conduct? There's a saying, Satyam Vada, Priyam Vada, Hitam Vada, and Mitam Vada, which means speak the truth, speak it sweetly, speak it so that it benefits the hearer, and also speak it in moderation. So speak the truth, speak so that it's beneficial, speak so that it is pleasing to hear, speak so that it is beneficial, and moderately. Lot to handle. But if we think about it, we'll speak a lot less. And that's good sometimes. Communication is key. These are our guidelines, I want to say, that we have been handed down in the tradition. And so we see that there are many examples of this actually. Rama himself, when he has to go to the forest, like just take a second. Imagine you are Kaushalya, and your child is being sent to the forest for 14 years. You have no phone to call him. You have no way to check on him. You have no email to send. You have no FaceTime. Nothing. And it's not like luxury spa level forest living. It's you're roughing it out. It's really hard. Rama knows this. And so he goes to his mother, and the way he tells the truth is so beautiful. It's so sweet. The night before he's supposed to be crowned king, he's told, you have to go to the forest. He goes to Mother Kaushalya, and she's praying. She's doing havan for him. She's making offerings, praying for his long life, for him to be a good king. And he goes up to her and he holds her and he says, Mother, Pita Dina Mohe Kanana Raj, which means, oh mother, King Dasharath has given me the kingdom of the forest. And she hears what he's saying and she processes it in such a way that she doesn't completely like falter. She faints as naturally she realizes, oh my god, my child is going to the forest. But the way he says it is so sweet. He doesn't complain about Kai or his father. He doesn't cry about it. He doesn't whine about it. The way he speaks is so sweet. It's so full of character. And we see that even later on when he meets Hanuman, the way Hanuman speaks to Ram and Lakshman and he asks questions, Rama turns to Lakshman and says, look at this man. He speaks like a Sanskrit Pandit. His grammar is so pure and he knows exactly what word to use. Ability to communicate. Key to success. Later on, also, we see different points in the Ramayana, communication is so of such essence and it's so beautifully illustrated in many places. But for us to then practice it requires us to practice it. It's not something that we can just read and pick up. And so, if you want an exercise to do we have time to do it? Okay, maybe we'll do this another time, but you can take this home and try it. I really think you all should try it. Is telling the truth without it being hurtful. So I want you to experiment with whoever you can at home. Is scenario. You are going on a trip for 2 weeks. Sorry, your partner is going on a trip for 2 weeks. Your son, your child, whatever. Someone in the house is going on a trip for 2 weeks. And they say, I'll be back. Will you miss me? And you have to say, no. Because you may not miss them. You may not. Or, okay, let's say 2 weeks is too strong. They're going for a day, they'll be back tomorrow morning. Will you miss me? And you have to figure out how to say, I'm not going to miss you without hurting their feelings. Experiment, try, and see how it goes. And then you can revisit this when they actually have to go on a trip and be like, okay, how am I going to say this now? If you want to try something a bit more, if you want to challenge yourself, scenario. You are a boss and you have to let someone go. How are you going to tell them you're fired without hurting their feelings? You don't have to do it now. Don't think about it so much. But little bit scenario. Another scenario I'll give you actually. You want to tell a friend of yours you didn't like what they said. How are you going to do that? And you're going to do it in a way that's truthful. You can't say you hurt my feelings because feelings can get hurt. Feelings will you'll move past it. But the fact that what they said was not true, that's what we're hinting at. That's what I'm trying to get you to think of. How can you correct someone without hurting their feelings? This is your friend. So you really don't want to hurt their feelings. It's not some random person on the street that bumped into you and you're like, what? Don't worry. But it's fine. So we see 4 values so far. They're so powerful and individually. And when they come together, they form the wheels and the flag on which on which we can progress, basically, to success. Now, what comes next? I want you all to guess. In a chariot, I gave. Oh, you can't answer. What comes next? So we've seen the wheels, we've seen the flag. Horses. Very good. Charioteer is very, very important. Actually, I wish I could tell you all the charioteer now because everything pieces together with the charioteer. Otherwise, it starts to feel a bit like it's just a basic human values session. But it's not. There's more to it, I promise. And so Bhagwan then goes on to explain Bala Viveka Dama Parahita Ghore. There are four horses. Bala, strength. Viveka, discernment or discrimination. Dama, mastery of the senses. And Parahita, which is concern for others. So we may have the wheels, we may have the flags, but what's bringing this chariot forward? It has to be the horses. So these are driving forces for all these other qualities to shine for. Is that there has to be strength within us on every level, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. All these require strength. You may have courage, but if you don't have the strength to live up to the courage, nothing. You may have truth, but if you don't have the ability to discern when to speak what and how to speak it, remember truthfulness and good conduct. Without discernment, your chariot's not going anywhere. Dhamma, the ability to hold and control the senses. Sometimes we don't like the word control. Management. Management of senses. If we can't manage what we see, we can't manage what we eat, it becomes very difficult for anything to move forward. You may have courage, you may have patience, you may have truthfulness, but if you don't have mastery over what you are doing and seeing and eating and drinking and smelling and tasting and touching, how are you going to be successful? We look at Steve Jobs. In his life, he wore the same clothes. Actually, why go to Steve Jobs? You look at Swamiji, you look at Swaminiji, you look at all of the Brahmacharis. We only wear the same clothes every day. Why? Because it takes away that, it means we have to develop that little bit of mastery over the senses, mastery over that desire to wear something colorful, wear something patterned, wear something different every day. Not that it's wrong or not that it's a bad thing, but otherwise, how our mind can hold on to something and it becomes our entire personality and it becomes our entire life, and next thing you know, we've forgotten what we were doing in the first place. It's all about what I wore today. Where did you go? I can't remember, but I remember what I wore. How will we achieve the success that we want? Is there any use in getting all the Nike gear and the Lululemon if you haven't trained for the marathon? You may look really good, but you don't look very good trailing behind the last person. It's not very nice. That comes when there is Dhamma, when there is management over the senses. And the last one is Parahita, a concern for others. And so, this attitude of concern, this attitude of love and support for the people around me, if that becomes one of my driving forces, then we see magic happen in our life. Gurudev came and created this whole space for us. Why? He was living it up in the Himalayas with his guru. It was great. He was very happy. He was very content. But he saw Mother Ganga and he was inspired. So he came because he had that sincere. In his I Love You letters, he describes love and devotion as a sincere anxiety for the well being of the beloved. So when we have that vision that the people around me, my family, my friends, my colleagues, they are all recipients of my love. They're all worthy of my concern and my care. When that becomes a driving force, all those other values that we saw, strength, perseverance, truthfulness, good conduct, they can all move forward so beautifully. And it's important, it's when we think about it more and more, it's interesting to see how these four horses, these four values are clubbed together as the horses, as the driving force in moving us forward. And so I'm not going to give you all of that you should also think. But essentially, each one plays a role. And when they all come together, it propels us forward. And so I read a line that was really lovely, and I thought it summed up the four horses together. Is that making life easier for others is making life easier for yourself. So when we Bala, Viveka, Dama, Parahita. So strength on every level, discernment on every level, control or mastery or management on every level, plus a concern for others. When these four come together, then the chariot moves forward very, very smoothly. And so in the Bhagavad Gita, the horses are considered to be like the senses that pull us out into the world. But here, the horses, we may take them to be senses as well. But if we see senses that have these qualities, that are strong, that can discern, that are manageable, that care for others, wouldn't it be such a wonderful way to live our life? No? If that becomes the propelling factor, or at least what gives us momentum. And these are the foundations of success, really, so to speak. And Sriram builds on it more and more. This analogy is not complete yet. And so maybe tomorrow we'll see the reins. What controls these forces? Because ultimately they're good quality. But anything in excess can tend towards fanaticism. I may be strong, but if I only focus on strength, I simply become a showpiece. There's nothing deeper than my physical strength or my mental strength. People who are extremely strong sometimes struggle to do things like, oh, I saw this video once um, where people were playing pranks on bodybuilders by putting post-it notes in the middle of their back. And because their muscles were so big, they couldn't reach the middle of their back. Of what use is such strength if you can't do these kinds of things, no? Some people may have extreme mental strength, like Ravana, very focused, very concentrated. But what did he ask for from Lord Shiva? He said, you come and live in Lanka, so when you live there, nobody will defeat me. Selfish mind only. Strong mind, but selfish mind. Vivek also. If I'm over analytical, over critical, that also doesn't work. Dhamma also. The line between management and suppression can be very, very fine. What we may consider good for us may actually be an extreme form of something. Even tapas, mastery only. But if we do tapas like Hiranyakashipu and stand on our toes and cause so many problems for the world, what is the use? Other simple example is I know someone that used to fast, and they would fast regularly for festivals, Navratri, Ganesh Chaturthi, all these festivals. But halfway through, they'd fall sick. Or even worse, they'd get irritated with everybody around them. What use is this mastery of your senses if you're going to cause problems for everybody else? So there's no use. Parahita, you have only concern for others, you forget about yourself. How can you take care? You have to fill your own cup before you can pour into others. So how do we balance? How do we maintain that balance and that control? What holds them or propels them forward? What are those reins? So that we'll see tomorrow. So just to quickly recap before we conclude, I I think I'll be a bit. Okay, I'll break the fourth wall and I'll ask you, what do you all remember? What were the wheels of the chariot? Anybody?
Swaraj and Dheeraj.
You don't have to give me technical words. You can give me English, please. Courage, one. And the second wheel? Perseverance. Patience. Perseverance, patience. See, the beauty of our Indian languages is that one word can mean so many things. It has so many shades. Determination, patience, perseverance. So these are the wheels that push us forward. Then, what came next? What were the flags?
Truth
Truth?
and discernment.
Communication. Truth is speak sweetly.
Consistency.
The flags, not the horse. Very good. Good character. Being truthful and being of good character were the flags. Then came the horses. What were the horses? Strength, discernment,
Management.
sense management,
Concern for others.
See, everyone was very aware of concern for others. So tomorrow we'll see what the reins are, and probably my favorite part, who is the charioteer? Who is controlling these horses? And so this Vibhishan Gita is extremely simple, straightforward, but deceptively deep. Like when we studied this with Guruji, he had to control himself. He had to hold himself back because he didn't have the time. And as we go through it, I know I have found a lot of knowledge and I found a lot of benefit from this Gita, from this Vibhishan Gita. So in some ways, may it translate into everyone's life. So we still have 2 more days. We'll see, slowly. We'll chant the Lord's name.
Jai Jai Hanuman, Jaya Hanuman.
Jai Jai Hanuman, Jaya Hanuman.
Jai
Jai
Jai Hanuman, Jaya Hanuman.
Jai Hanuman, Jaya Hanuman.
Maruti Raya, Jaya Hanuman.
Maruti Raya, Jaya Hanuman.
Mahanubhava, Jaya Hanuman.
Mahanubhava, Jaya Hanuman. Vayukumara, Jaya Hanuman. Vanaravira, Jaya Hanuman. Anjani Putra, Jaya Hanuman. Ati Balavanta, Jaya Hanuman. Shri Ramaduta, Jaya Hanuman. Shri Rama Bhakta, Jaya Hanuman. Jai Jai Hanuman, Jaya Hanuman. Jai Jai Hanuman, Jaya Hanuman. Maruti Raya, Jaya Hanuman. Mahanubhava, Jaya Hanuman. वायु कुमारा जय हनुमान वानर वीरा जय हनुमान अंजनी पुत्र जय हनुमान अति बलवंता जय हनुमान श्री राम दूता जय हनुमान श्री राम भक्त जय हनुमान
ॐ सर्वे
भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामया सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मामृतङ्गमय ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति 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 हरिः ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम